I want to find the area under the cosine curve from 0 to pi. What is the approximation? I'm going to change that. Instead of doing 0 to pi, I'm going to do negative pi over 2 to positive pi over 2. So it's all positive, okay? Do you know the cosine graph?
What do you mean it's all positive?
No calculator. Right? Okay, I want 4 subdivisions. All right? So what is f of 0? I'm sorry, what is f of negative pi over 2?
0. You're zeros. She gave it to us.
If I do 4, where's the next one going to be?
Probably like negative pi over 4.
Negative pi over 4. What? 4. Because that's what you're given.
Negative radical 2 of 2.
Negative radical. I think it's positive.
Oh, are you talking about above? No, notice it.
Doesn't the graph look like this?
Yeah.
So I think it has to be positive.
So like yesterday and the one we did yesterday when we did that?
Yeah.
Because is that one taking negative radical 2?
Yeah.
But
the cosine of negative pi over 4 is radical 2 over 2, isn't it?
Yes.
Is the sine of pi over 4 radical 2 over 2?
Yes.
So when we're looking for the interval, we can use negative. When we're looking for area, we have to use
F of 0 is 1.
f of 5 over 4.
So what is f of pi over 4? And the last one would be f of pi over 2. 0. Now, how do I do LRAM? How wide is each spot? No. Pi over 4, isn't it? So LRAM is pi over 4, the width. Now, what numbers do I put in?
The first one.
Yes, I put the first one. First one, but not the last one.
0.
And then if this is RN, you put in the last one.
Plus pi over 2 plus 1 plus pi over 2?
Pi over 2.
Radical 2 over 2. Sorry. I wrote it right. I said it wrong.
Really rocking on this.
That's LRAM, guys.
If it's RN, you do all but the first year.
Yes.
You don't have to give the answer.
No. Because there's no calculator.
You're right. You could probably get an answer right now.
You could. You could.
Yeah, I could try.
But all I want is you to set it out.
Extra credit if you do it.
No.
To the exact decimal.
That'd be insane.
To 10 decimal places. Now,
I want to see you do that.
when we talk about this, as you said, that is an integral that we found. In its area, it's absolute value. Now, so what is an integral? If I find an integral of a velocity of a truck, what am I actually finding when I do an integral? The distance the truck went. I'm finding the amount it changed, right? All right. When I talk about integrals, for instance, this integral. If I tell you that this integral is 2, and this integral is 5. Could I find this, 0 to 3, when I add them together?
Yeah.
To be what?
7.
7. Could I take 2 times this one? be 4, so you know how to do those. So I can add them, I can subtract them. What I can't do is multiply and divide them, right? All right? When, I'm just going through what I expect you to know. Do you know it all so far? When, I'll do a k of x to the 4th, what would k have to be for that integral to be 0? Zero. It would have to be 0. Isn't it true the integral 0 when the top and bottom numbers are the same? Could be other times, but it has to be then. That if I want the integral to be 0, the bottom number and the top number have to be the same, because that means I don't move. It might be 0 somewhere else, but it's always 0 there.
When I make it use 2.
Right. Yes. Yes.
I think they're taking frozen tuna and toasted ice.
Okay, if I go back, oh, never mind, I can't. Yes, I can. Did I do this? How did I do that?
Where were you?
This one. If I go back to that integral right there, what is the value of this? -2? When we turn it upside down?
Turn right side up.
You want a whole lot of those because those are easy?
Yes. You'll make them hard. There is.
What would we learn, Noah? What would we learn?
We learned that not to get things.
What do you have right now?
I don't know. Don't look at me. I don't know what you have.
I like it. I like it. 70s. Like,
After this.
This is no calculator, and it says to solve it using fundamental theorem of calculus.
so easy, bro.
We get
Good.
to use it either way we want.
The fundamental theorem of calculus?
Either method, I mean.
Well, yeah, but there's only one that solves it. So, doesn't that mean I have x to the 4th over 4 plus x cubed over 3 from 0 to 2? Is that what that means? So now the first thing I'm going to do is put a 2 in.
So every time you solve those, like fundamental theory or anything, you get that.
Yes. Yes. What is 2 to the 4th?
2 to the 4th is 8, 16.
16. So do I have 16 over 4?
Yes.
Which is 4 plus, what is this?
No.
Minus 0? Isn't it?
F of
Yes, you
B
subtract.
minus F of B.
F of B minus F of A.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yep. like four, like,
A on bottom, B on top. So what is my answer? 2/3. That's without a calculator, and that was simple.
well, how did you do it?
How'd I do what?
Add those two.
I changed 4 to 12/3.
Oh, find that common denominator. Oh my gosh.
The next thing on the test is trapezoid rule and Simpson rule without a calculator. You don't like trapezoid rule and Simpson rule?
It's not too much math.
I did.
I just hate multiplying at the end by like 1, 4, 20.
All right. No. Are we ready to do trapezoid rule? I'm debating how hard to do it.
There's no calculators, you didn't go easy.
Zero to 1 n equals 23.
What?
0 to 1 n equals 23.
That's not easy.
Okay.
Let's do the same difficulty.
Well,
Trying to figure out how hard to do it.
We made the test.
uh-huh.
Just to wrote that test, you guys should.
We'll do an easy one. All right.
Radical. How does that make that easy?
It makes it real easy. I'll show you.
What's
Okay.
radical 2?
If n is 4, don't I want f of 0, f of 2, f of 4, f of 6, and f of 8? Yes? Do you all agree with what I've done? Now, what is f of 0? What is f of 2?
Radical 2,
What is f of 4?
2,
F of 6
6.
and f of 8. 2 radical 2.
Lily, Chloe, how do you know that? Man?
What?
Push the 4 out.
Yeah, it should be 4 times 2. 4 times.
N divided by b. No. I took b divided by n.
That's what I.
You said the other way.
Jack, it's okay.
Jack, I didn't want you to be doing it wrong. All right, guys. What is the trapezoid rule?
B minus A over N.
B minus A over N. Is that 2? Over what? 2 over 2, which is what? 1 times what? 0 plus
2
plus 4, yes, plus 2 radical 6 plus 2 radical 2, right? And guys, that is my answer. Because there's nothing I can, I can combine these two, can't I? So my answer is going to be 4 radical 2 plus 4 plus 2 radical 6. Now tell me how hard that was.
Hey, soldier.
You did say you were doing an easy one.
Now, how do I do Simpson's rule?
Similarly.
B minus A over N.
Okay, wait, B minus A over N is 2.
2/3.
2/3 times 0 plus what? 4 radical 2 plus, plus 4 plus 4 radical 6 plus 2 radical 2. So is it 2/3 times 6 radical 2 plus 4 radical 6?
Plus, there's also 4.
Oh, yes, there is. Thank you. Plus 4.
Over H, right? Or H over N.
You have to know trapezoid rule, you have to know Simpson. Okay, that's the end of no calculator.
Oh, now we're jumping to 1.
Now we can do a calculator.
We get to do it. I don't know if we should keep this as the test.
Because you are doing so good?
Yeah. I don't know the rest of it. Colton's sort of
All right, this time we're doing an MRAM with 4 rectangles that are equal width. So you can, that means you can use RAM on your calculator, right? MRAM, the rectangles are equal width.
Go to math. No. What?
We need a Y equals.
All right, you ready? MRAM, the rectangles are equal width, which means you can use the RAM on your calculator. This is my equation. And you have to find the area between the graph and the x-axis. So you need to find A and B.
Calculators. See on your wall.
Fine.
Slowly.
Oh, did it lock? Just a second. Okay.
Oh, what? When I graph it, it takes forever.
It just did that once. It just hung up once. So, what is A and B?
I know what we're doing.
Oh, I see.
Okay,
I forgot.
we're finding MRAM of this equation between the graph and the x-axis. So you have to find A and B. You have to find where it crosses the x-axis. So graph it.
Doing the positive part.
Yeah.
So 0 and yes,
Sometimes.
What is 0 and 6? What is 0 and 6?
Do you agree it's 0 and 6?
those are the X's.
Yeah. So, how do you work the RAM program?
Well, we're limit up or limit number bigger.
Go to the RAM program. You've got this in Y equals, don't you?
Lower limit of H is 0.
Lower limit is 0.
There's 6.
Upper limit is 6.
Number of intervals.
4.
4. You know, 4.
I gave you 4.
N equals 4.
N equals 4.
You said
37.125.
4.
what?
Don't,
Yes.
how was LRAM and RRAM both lower than main RAM? I thought it was like in the middle.
Well, the graph looks like this.
So is our answer that it was
So LRAM, see, does this. And MRAM's going to do the same thing because when you come from the other way.
RAM's 37.125.
What is MRAM? 37.25? Okay. On the next problem.
For that bit, do all of the
No!
like LR and divide by 3. Is that how you find it?
No, no. They find it exact. That's why that is a. All right. I want the average value. Are you listening?
Yes.
They're not. The average value of the sine function. Average value of the sine function on the interval from 1 to 3. Average value of the sine function on the interval 1 to 3. Which means, average means 1 over what out front? B minus A, which is what? 2. 1 over 2 of the integral 1 to 3 of sine x dx.
Sin X dx.
Remember, average means 1 over how many I'm going, which is the same thing as dividing by how long it is.
Alright.
It is calculator. Yes, it is calculator. This one would be extremely difficult without.
I have a question.
What?
Do we do the 1/2 multiply after?
Either way. But don't put it in your integral. Okay?
You can do 1/2 sine x. On your y equals, you can do 1/2 sine x.
Well, why would you do it on your right? Because I would do this one on the math 9.
Someone know what they got?
Don't you, Jack?
Oh, I got it.
Did you get an answer?
Yes.
Jillian,
Shouldn't matter.
do you not have a calculator?
My calculator is today.
Well, here, mine's laying right here. Just tell me. I just now figured out what you were doing.
He put why
That's that way you don't have to write there.
Multiply it by 6.
gang related?
I guess so.
What's gang related?
Me using the
Why?
RAMP program is.
What did you get?
0.765.
0.765?
Well, no, too much brain.
Two decimal places. Chloe, is that what you got?
Yeah.
I don't think today.
0.765. Everybody okay with that?
Heard it's breaking something.
All right. I have one more problem.
One more.
We're talking really loud. Yesterday.
Chloe's being disruptive.
So that's what.
Weird, like.
Okay, this is the last problem. The directions say, is she confused? Okay.
Hey, Chloe again, bro. Chloe's back at it with this fucking.
Why?
You must have been. Okay, use the graph of the integrand and areas to evaluate the integral. All right? The graph to evaluate. So graph this function.
So what much
Radius is
it's like Toad in Mario Kart.
What graph? What's the graph of?
It's a little semicircle.
It's a semicircle. You agree?
Yes.
Could you tell by looking at this equation it was a semicircle?
Probably should have.
You should have when you have a squared and a square number. Okay? So, it's a semicircle, right? How do I find the area of a semicircle? 1/2. What's R?
2.
Times 2 squared? So what is the area of this? Notice, I asked for area, didn't I?
Yes.
Which means it's absolute value, and it's also square units.
How did I get to?
No, an integral's negative, area is positive.
Okay,
It says small or graph is small.